Yeah, I mean, as far as I took it, I basically saw it as, hey, they did some review. They kind of maybe had an idea that they could move some code from the contract layer up to a higher level, and so they took that opportunity, right? And then they're going to go review some other code, maybe see if they come up with anything. And if they do find some more things, then maybe it'll be a little bit longer. But maybe everything else is neat and tidy, and we can just launch after the review is done.
Appreciate the sober truth there. The answer is we don't know what we're up against here and how bad it is. So, we can hope for the best.
Yeah. I hope this thing launches in a month or so. Whoever said July, beginning of July might be dead on. No, I remember someone was calling for that. I don't know if it was Gamma or Crypto Trade or Top Cat, but yeah, I'd be fine with that. I think I'd agree.
Like, what kind of rewrite are you talking about? Because if you really need an entire rewrite of everything that they've done, then that would mean that the testnet would be running like really badly or not running at all, and it's like running perfectly. I would assume it's just like little tweaks, or they're optimizing whatever needs to be optimized.
The answer is we don't know how the rewrite is going, whether it's a rifle shot to kill a specific bug here and there, or if it's the complete core system rewrite. So it could be on one end of the spectrum or the other, or some point in between. We don't have a core team dev to.
But really, Pepe, like, why would you need it? It would be failing. It would be very obvious that things were wrong if you had to rewrite the whole thing, or if you're basically saying that the devs that were hired were like completely incompetent, and that RH didn't notice.
First, I prefaced my comment by saying it was Gamma who stated the complete core system rewrite. It wasn't me. I'm just trying to understand the enormity of the hill in front of us. So I don't know. Gamma doesn't know. But if in fact it is a complete core system rewrite, then it's going to be months, right? So it would be helpful if we had clarity around it. I'm like you. I sort of think that, hey, maybe the system is up and running. But what happens if that dev that was let go had multiple back doors that he put in? I mean, he either is really brilliant and planned on just taking everything down, or he performed shoddy work. We don't know. We just don't know. So I would leave that to the ProfXs and the Gammas of the world to elaborate.
So I'm not understanding. Is the complete system rewrite due to the departure of a dev, and we not knowing what that dev did to the already written system?
I don't have any information other than the hearsay that I was.
We say that. I don't. Hold on. I don't think it was a whole system rewrite. It was just for the validator nodes, wasn't it? What Gamma was talking about the other day. Hold on. I think Crypto Safe Trade was talking about it too the other day. But Yo, crypto safe.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Hope that you're all well. First of all, I would like to reassure everyone regarding like a backdoor. It's almost impossible when a team is building any software because they have like continuation, integration, test, and every time that any basically software developer basically pushes code, all the previous unit tests are executed. And on top of that, before integrating or merging their code, then the new code that they just developed onto the main branch, okay, the master branch, it's called like that. Those developers, generally speaking, do what is called pull request. So most senior developer has to basically review the code before merging the code that is located on the dev branch onto the master branch. So that's impossible because multiple people, they are like around like more than 10. So you couldn't do that. When you introduce the backdoor, it's like when you enter on an existing system, or basically when you manage to hack something that is already running, but not while it is developing. See? And regarding the what he tweeted like no like few days ago, then I didn't follow up the next tweet, but just talking about this one only tweet regarding node validator. He just used, from what he explained in his tweet, he just chose to use the Go language because, from what I know, it's a multi-threaded language that enables basically to execute multiple threads, okay, in one software, and taking in consideration that the node validators, from what I understood, there are only 33 node validators, and they also enter in a system of rotation. In order to keep his promises, which were like, yes, I'm going to increase the truth boost, and that was the goal of Pulsechain compared to Ethereum, which means like increasing the uh, maximum number of transactions that could be handled at a certain second. That's why I decided to rewrite partially with Go language the node validator software, which I remember you is used for validating transaction, and that is run
So,
by any node validator. So it's
okay, so
good.
quick question. How come this wasn't foreseen during the initial stages of writing this?
Because you see stuff, it's not enough, and then someone sees something, and then he says, okay, boss, it would be better if we would do that, because otherwise, you see, we did a load test, and as you can see, we could encounter like a congestion, basically, network with that, and maybe it wouldn't be as secure as that, but because someone could do that kind of attack. So in order to really run smoothly and already anticipate everything, even if it has a low probability to happen, it would be better to do that. And then probably Richard Hall saw that and he said, yeah, definitely. We are going to invest on that. And then we are not going
So,
to do this update later on. We are going to do it ahead in order to have all our basically the good all the good things on our side even before the launch to basically reach success and not being like basically bashed by anyone or create FUD or basically fail because he doesn't want to fail.
yeah, so basically, maybe Solidity was okay, was the most expedient to launch, but during the testing, they realized that Go would be a
because
better
because
system to be
because
on.
because when you write, it's like how can I say that, fundamental in software development, there is not one best tool for everything. It depends on your needs and what you try to achieve. And by essence, and listen to that because it answers your questions. When you developed backend code, okay, backend software for the backend side, The problem of Node.js is that Node.js, which is basically the framework that you use to run a server on the backend side and use the JavaScript code, is monothreaded. Okay, and you also use JavaScript with the Solidity framework when you write the smart contract part. Okay, or when you are like a software developer. And for example, all those software developers who are going to build and who are currently building their product, which will run on Pulsechain in the future, those guys are on the application side, and those guys are going to use Solidity, a framework that has been introduced by the Ethereum Foundation. Why? Because Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum, and it is EVM compatible. It's your Ethereum virtual machine compatible. However, in this industry, as soon as you want to have like one program that basically on demand, one software, you want to develop one software on the backend side that basically clones itself in multiple processes and use basically in optimized way all the cores of your processor, you are going to use a multi-threaded software development language. And the one that doesn't have this limitation and is really efficient and lightweight and doesn't consume a lot of resource in terms of memory is the Go language, Golang, which has been introduced by Google, and which is, even before the development of Pulsechain, involved in any core software development on the blockchain. Core software development. So a node validator is a core software development. It's not an application software development on the blockchain. You know what I mean?
It's basically, in other words, basically terms is building a faster protocol.
So you are muffled. You are muffled. I cannot hear you.
Excuse me? Can you hear
Your
me?
mic
Can you hear me?
mellow.
Now I can hear you. Let's try.
Can you hear me?
Let's try. For the moment, it's quite weird because if we cannot hear you, it's going to be difficult.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
5 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically what we're saying is basically he's building a better, faster, and you might as well do it now by changing the slashings and delegating code, to help with the throughput. I see what you're saying, where it's like unloading the applications instead of all of it being on Solidity. They're gonna move to a different coding. Is that basically what you're saying, right? Offload some of that pressure.
Yeah, basically it's just for optimizing the code of the node validators in order to be able to, with one node validator, handle more transaction on 1 second, in 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
See what
Cool.
I mean? That's it. So basically increasing the throughput, being able to hold his promises regarding that.
So it makes
it's
sense
good.
to hold back the launch.
He doesn't do that just like that. If he mentioned that and it's the case, of course it makes sense. Of course, because imagine if we see an attack, how would you react, all of you? Yeah, why didn't he see that? Blah 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 blah. And then I thought that it was always better than any other product. See what I mean? People will say that, but he anticipates that. And,
See, look, that's just more bullish. Ooh.
But how long is an estimated project like this? Is it 3 weeks or is it 6 months?
There is no. It depends on how many. It depends on how many developers you have, and I think he talked about. He mentioned that using the past tense. in his tweet, the tweet where he talked about that. So it has
So
already been
it
done.
is
This specific part, guys.
it is hard to tell, but he's not. They're not starting all over, so it's not like they're starting from scratch. So it's mostly being rewritten, so it shouldn't take that long. Um, I Yeah, shouldn't be that long. I'm not gonna put a time
So
on it.
is the
Very
correct
hard to tell.
terminology for what we're talking about is the core system being rewritten, or is the core system being copied?
Improved.
Mostly improved, but
And
rewritten, improved is the same.
yeah, and partially. He used the word partially because it's a fork. So it's an improvement of what already exists in
But
terms of code. So partially.
here's Gamma's post from 10 hours ago. Probably don't want to hear this, but I have no idea when Pulsechain.com will launch. A complete rewrite of core system contract code. This could take a while. Strap in, prepare for this to take a while, and be pleasantly surprised when it launches perfect. So that was the nature of my concern. Is it truly a complete rewrite, or is it a partial rewrite, or something in between?
So I don't know. Richard Hart has this little wording he uses. It says mostly rewritten, and then partially implemented. So the native Go is what's going to be implemented. Is what's going to
Go
be
is just
partially,
a
but
language.
the rewritten is going to be the slashing code, the slashing delegating code, and the rotation. So when I guess mostly means about 80%, 90%, right? I don't know, but it. I don't know. I don't think how. I guess Gamma has insider because he does that kind of stuff, so he might feel like he knows a time limit that he But let's say if it's one person working on it aside from 5 people working or 5 devs working on it. So, it might be quicker, like Crypto Safe Trade, based on how many devs he's actually got working on that specific case. I'm hoping no longer than 2 months, a month at least.
Yeah. And Gamma made another post where he said, most of the code, if not all the code, could have been already rewritten. And, we're weeks away instead of, no one knows the progress that the devs have made on the rewrite, no matter how thin that may be, nor complex. So we just don't know at this point.
Well, Richard in the tweet said that it had already been mostly rewritten and some of it has already been implemented. That's not language that implies that they're starting from scratch. He says Pulsechain update, the validator rotation slashing delegation code has mostly been rewritten and partially implemented in native Go outside the EVM, creating higher throughput. So it's already been on the roadmap. It's already been working on. Most of it has already been rewritten and
Keyword bin.
What's that?
Keyword bin. I just saw that.
The validator rotation delegating code has been mostly rewritten and it's already started to be implemented in native Go. That's not implying they're rewriting the whole thing. It's already mostly been done, is what that says. Am I incorrect?
No, you're good. Yep. I
Understand the
just
same
had to
as you.
reread it again. That's why I said keyword bin, had been, has been.
Yes. Delegating code has been mostly rewritten, which means it's already been mostly rewritten and it's already almost done. And they've already started implementing part of it already. So it's definitely not being, it's not a starting from scratch thing in sense of timeline at this point at all. from what he said.
So as a layperson, I feel safe estimating it could be a month or two.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be estimating anything anymore, to be honest with you. Isn't that become painfully obvious to the community that nobody should be estimating shit at this point? 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Oh, we have to rewrite the validator rotation script. I mean, they're obviously doing things as they go based on optimizing the chain and bugs that they find in the chain. And that's why Richard always says software sucks. Because if it's not a bug that you have to fix, if it's not EIP 1559 that gives you one bug that sets you back 2 months you didn't see, or if it's not a new optimization that they know for a fact will make the chain 50 times more throughput, if you give them another 2 months, it's like it's a never-ending balance between should you, could you, or should you, right? So they're having to make these, obviously rewriting the script in Golang for the consensus is obviously going to make Pulsechain a massively superior system, because you can take one server and clone it 5 times, like CryptoSafe was saying the other day.
Does that feature make the increase of Pulsechain fees? Does it stave it off for longer?
I personally am not a developer. I can't answer the question on the gas fees, but it maximizes it just massively opens up throughput. So in times of massive congestion on the network, the servers can literally clone themselves. Like you turn one server into 5 servers during massive amounts of congestion.
So as a layperson, that would sound to me like less congestion.
That's throughput. That has to do with throughput, not necessarily gas fees.
Okay.
It has to do with the speed of the network, not necessarily the cost of the network.
There is still a correlation. So he's right.
I would assume there is.
Because basically, let's imagine if you have tons of people willing to be validated, to see their transactions validated, and then let's imagine you have like a higher throughput thanks to that, because all the node validators are like under the hood multi-threaded. It will enable them to handle more transactions. And what does it mean? More transactions handled in 1 second. It means that less congestion, and then the price will not spike up like what we already saw and experienced on Ethereum. So of course there is a link.
So the reality is that if they get this stuff done, which they're going to get it done. When Richard deploys the chain, when people see what they've done and how fast it is and how much throughput there is and how cheap it is, the code is going to just destroy all. Like they're not going to be able to. It's that linear scaling he's talking about. He didn't need to make a brand new McDonald's. He just took the one that they had and just made it better, made it more optimized, right? And it's undeniably more optimized than Ethereum at this point. So it's super important what they're doing, because in an age of Solanas and shit that doesn't work, like Cardano, and scams like Luna, if they launch this chain and it works the way that it's intended to work, I mean, what's going to compete with it? From that vantage point for a while.
Nothing.
Is, from what we understand, is this the last step to close to perfection, or can there be other upgrades that might be viable?
No, they can always upgrade the system. They can always update it and implement new technology into the future. It's a blockchain, so it's not going to be like a renounced contract.
So pre-launch, is this surely probably the last big step, last extension before launch?
No one can answer these questions you're asking, sir. And
Oh
you
no,
already know that.
yeah. We understand that, but from our understanding, I understand that Golang seems to be the obvious upgrade that should be done pre-launch. But is there any other obvious upgrades that we understand might be better to be done pre-launch?
Well, the Golang was not an obvious change. It was just something that I think they just wanted to implement to make it faster, to make it more superior in the game, you know. And why not do it now than after launch?
Yeah, on things that are that big, that make the chain that much more robust, and if they can do it in a way that is efficient in a timely manner, you'd be crazy to not do it, right? Like
Hmm.
like there's no like all this waiting that we've been doing, and for him to look, do you think Richard enjoyed saying, "Hey guys, my best estimate is mid-May," and then the devs come to him and say, "Okay," the lead dev says, "Yep, I did an internal audit and everything looks good, but some things look bad. There's some bugs, and I just found a way to optimize the chain like freaking 50x the throughput by rewriting the script in Golang. And this is what the outcome will be if we do it this way." Can you imagine Richard saying, "Oh yeah, no, let's just keep it the other way and not push it off a couple months"? None of us would do that. None of us would make the call to launch the chain less than what it could have been, right? Like we just wouldn't do that. So, but there has to be a point where they say, okay, it's good enough. You can always optimize something, right? I don't think you're ever going to run out of something to come up with that maybe you can do something better. But at some point, you have to launch the chain and just implement those things as they go, right?
Absolutely. And on top of that, it will help you guys to shield the project, because some other people are going to tell you, okay, but what's the benefit of that? Because there are also already some existing EVM compatible other layer one blockchain. So what's the perk of using Pulsechain? And then you will be able to use this argument regarding higher throughput, and also how miserably the Solana or other blockchain fail, multiple times in terms of security and so on. So yeah, if he hadn't implemented that or re-implemented that, I mean, you could have basically ended up like with Solana with like a broken or down a blockchain for 48 hours or for 1 week. It's horrible. So you don't want to see that or to
Yeah,
experience
and
that. So
notice what Eric was saying in the debate. One of his, he had a lot of just total crap BS. Most of it was just bullshit. But one of the biggest things he kept on saying was, "I'll bet you're going to have a major bug and the shit's going to freaking go down on you. How much do you want to bet?" Right? So everybody is like betting against Pulsechain operating well. They want it to be a Solana, right? Why?
they hate.
Haters
They
hate.
because they hate Richard Hart, they hate the community, because they are scared of that, because of the coin exchange, because of all the other people who listen to the coin exchange dumbly without thinking. And that's why, because it's not in the interest of the big players, and then the sheep follow, and is highly hated, so they all expect that, they are all waiting for that. That's their
Yeah.
last hope.
So these devs, these devs that Richard has, especially his lead dev, they're like on a V for Vendetta, right? To prove all these sons of bitches wrong and to launch a phenomenal blockchain that's optimized the best to the utmost tech we've got for this EVM chain. so that when it launches, all these Eric Walls and all these guys are just proven wrong. And what does that do? Now you're not talking about how big Richard's PP is, because nobody fucking cares. Okay. The only thing that customers care is, can I use the blockchain to make money for my family? That's it. Is it cheap? Is it fast? Is it safe? Is it secure? Does it work? Do we have a lot of protocols on it? And when that happens and people see the code and they can look at all the optimization and it just works, all the bullshit goes away, especially in an age now of post Luna scam 2.0, where a top 2010 blockchain rugs the entire world, and then 3 weeks later they're giving them an opportunity to rug it again. Like, all this, oh, Richard's a scam narrative, it's just literally going out the window, especially if he launches Pulsechain and it's just as tight as a freaking button. You know what I mean?
Me, I totally agree with you.
In that
I
sense,
understood.
it is very important that Pulsechain is deployed and it just works like a top. It's just like beautiful brand new Lamborghini, because if that is the case, nothing's going to be able to stop Pulsechain after that. It's just everyone's going to flock to it.
No, nothing will stop it, and all the gatekeeping will start to become ungated as people see how it works, how the throughput, how it's reliable, and all that's gonna go forward. So I think that we should be patient. I'm not worried about when it's going to launch. This is all. I'm not an expert on blockchain, but I see how it's the most innovative sector. Everything is constantly changing. So, I mean, the challenges are huge for Richard to be able to deploy something top notch, or at least at the top of what's available today, So,
well, Eric was making this straw man argument that Richard, he can't get any other developers to work with him, and who's going to do this, and why isn't it deployed yet? Your devs must suck, it's not deployed. And Richard's like, no, Eric, Pulsechain's not deployed not because my devs suck, but because my devs are the best in the fucking business. That's why it's not deployed yet. If they sucked, it would have been deployed and we would look like a fucking Solana. It's so common sense, man. It just blows my mind.
Right. And I'm sure Richard's taken into consideration that there are going to be people possibly trying to take them down. I don't know, DDoS attacks and that kind of thing. And I'm sure that they're testing for all that.
Absolutely, man.
Need to panic, guys. Everything is all right.
Yeah, man. How are you guys doing?
We're near capitulation. That's how everybody's doing.
I see.
And if you're not emotionally understanding where we are in the market, you're gonna be very emotionally wrecked right now. But you shouldn't be, especially if you're an RH project. You shouldn't be.
Well, I'm super wrecked.
A lot of people.
Staked? But are you staked? Because that's the savior.
No, I'm not staking until Pulse comes out. I'm not gonna.
Right. And so all I'll say about that is that if you're mostly liquid or all liquid, it's challenging right now. If you're staked for an average of 11.0 years, you have no worries.
The average went up.
No, the average is just under 7 years.
Oh, okay.
When Pulse does until 2031 though. So what is that? 9 years? That's about it.
Yeah, look, getting the APY is great, but seeing X's on the chart is greater. Okay. Richard will tell you that all day long. Like, the yield is amazing. It's trustless. It's awesome, but X's are better. That's where you get the astronomical percentage gains, right? So when you're in a bear market and you have all your money out in sacrifices and Hex is down 85% from the top and you've bought at 45 cents, you don't really give a shit about yield right now, right? The new people don't really care. But the most important thing that Richard can do for the entire community is to do everything he can, not to ensure that you get your Pulsechain right now, but to ensure that Pulsechain launches flawlessly. That's what he can do for us. Because if Pulsechain launches perfectly, to the best of their ability, it is going to pump the price of Hex. It is going to pump the price of Pulse and PulseX, and it's going to bring a lot of people to the chain. It's that simple, right? So I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing. The fact that they're pushing it back, I mean, these people have a year's worth of invested interest of their lives, and they're being paid in Pulsechain. So they're 100% incentivized to make sure that this thing does what it needs to do for the community.
And, you know, another thing I'll mention is I'm hoping that when that occurs, that a lot of these gatekeepers and personalities on YouTube and all these people who are not even talking about this project, you know, they're looked at, their subscribers asking.
Well, you notice BitBoy's been tweeting about Richard the last couple of days?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been tweeting bad things. He's been tweeting things that basically are telling the industry, y'all keep talking bad about Richard and Hex, but Richard and Hex are they're honestly looking very good right now compared to even Bitcoin's chart. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So speaking of X's, what's that deal with that Matty Allen clip that's going around social media right now, where they isolate what Richard said about Ethereum, maybe the OA holding Ethereum till it does a certain number of X's, then dumping all that into Hex? It seems that it's going to happen instead of it has happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but was it a clip from the
Eric Wall debate?
From the debate? Okay, so in that debate, essentially what I know exactly what you're talking about. Essentially what Richard said was, you know how much came into the sacrifice, right? And there's like, yeah, like a lot of money, right? And he's basically said, well, what if the founder of a token basically took that stuff, put it into USDC, the market tanked, right? And then decided to invest back into his token. That's the magic carpet ride. There's no other way to say it. Richard was saying, I have the right, if I want to support and undergird my project in the best way that I see fit. And if I want to take some of the money that was sacrificed and pump the living daylights out of my token, I can do that. It's basically what he said, guys.
Of course. The CEO of Coinbase sold the top at like 300-400 and just bought back at like $68. Like, that's
but
what
this is
leaders do.
This is a potentiality. This could happen. It has not happened, right?
No, it has not happened. It has not happened. The OA took the the sacrifice wallet, took everything except for Hex and sold it into stable coins. When Bitcoin was back pretty much higher, and then the market was much higher. So the OA could technically buy back in right now, once we hit the bottom of the bear, ride that back up, literally double the bags, and totally undergird his entire project. And that's what he's talking about. Like, smart founders they look for ways to undergird their projects. Look at what Luna's doing. Their project is destroyed. They've rugged their entire system. And what are they doing? They're trying to find ways to undergird their project, to fix their project, to re-liquidate, bring more liquidity back into the project. So I'm just going to say what I think. This is total speculation, but what I think Richard said and what I think Richard meant was, once Pulsechain launches, I've got a lot of money and I'm probably going to be incentivized to pump the shit out of the things I built.
What a smart man.
Yeah, so I took it as if Ethereum was valued at, let's say, $4,000 during the SEC, whether it's the first one or the second one, that he likely sold the Ethereum into USDC. So he is properly positioned to have already have captured the economic energy in 4,000 ETH, and he's waiting to deploy that capital. And the question is it EHEX, PHEX, Pulse, or PulseX, or all the above?
All the above.
Yeah, if Pepe, think about this. If it was me, and I'm not Richard, who's far smarter, but if it was me at the sacrifice, he was calling the top. He's been telling everybody we're in a bear. And we've been literally just going down, 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 down ever freaking since, right? So the sacrifice first happened with Pulse. We had another one, PulseX. The money was put into stable coins outside of Hex. So at this point, if I'm Richard, I'm thinking, shit, bottom's going to drop. We're going to hit the floor at some point. He just made a tweet the other day about half the community wants to launch in bear market and is probably happy with the delays. I'm sure you saw that. So do you think that he doesn't re-enter the market at an obvious low? Literally could ride that up and double the sacrifice amount for free, basically. I mean, the guy's a freaking genius.
I'm with you, Mando. I believe in what you believe, and we will be amply rewarded for staying with Richard Hart. Those that have paper hands and decide to bail, God help them.
He's already doubled the bag on the way down, so he's gonna 4 or 5x on the way
The
back up.
reason, the reason why he didn't launch in mid-May was because the drop to 25K was so fast, and they just pumped way too hard for him to launch anything. Basically, because it only lasted like about 3-4 hours at 25K, so there was no time to like announce anything or anything like that. And he clearly saw it wasn't going to go back down anytime soon, so he just canceled May and he's looking for June. And in June, for sure, it's going to go down to 22K. And June 3rd, 100% is going to be in 22K, is what I'm thinking. And that's when he's going to launch.
Yeah, that's all speculative. It's great. We can speculate all we want. Bottom line, he's optimizing the chain. He was a genius to take in the sacrifice and swap into stable coins, because now he's literally doubled or tripled his freaking bags. He can re-enter and use that money to build his system and pump the things that he loves. And without even touching the sacrifice, the original sacrifice. I mean, it's just astronomical in terms of the when. I think he does want to time it. I think that at this point where Bitcoin's at, with the overall market sentiment in general, and with Bitcoin near a mega death cross coming up, yeah, I think that launching it in a bear market obviously is better for the community. It's better for the X's on the chart, and that's what I think that they're planning on doing. It's literally playing into his hand. Everything to me is playing into his hand, almost like he saw in advance. Like, what is one thing that he has done that has not worked out to his advantage?
So it's
I'm
really a play on
talking,
him recognizing the cycles, right? He always talks about the Bitcoin cycles, the crypto cycles. He's just playing into the cycles that he already has recognized before.
So do you guys actually believe that he is timing the market? I think the product's just not ready yet because I don't think he's timing it because he's mentioned before how other projects that launch in the bear market have done well. And here's another thing, right? Think about how many people literally went broke or down, right? So let's just assume Pulse launches in a bear, um, how much money do people have to take on additional risk, right? Let's say somebody had 20 ETH, that 20 ETH now coming into Pulsechain is worth a lot less, right? People will also be scared. Money's actually moving out of crypto, not into crypto. So do you guys actually think that he's timing or he's just making sure that the chain is ready?
He's timing it.
Why
I
not
think it's
both?
both.
Yeah, both.
It's both.
Both, definitely both.
Both, and it's working out perfect.
And forget
Yeah, I think
retail, like institutional money's on the sidelines. Like they're all ready to come in. Like the adoption, like they want it to be ready. So, sure, retail is getting hosed, but there's some big money on the sideline and they're definitely looking at what's happening.
Personally, as I already mentioned multiple times, even a few weeks ago, for me it will be launched between the 1st October and the 1st November 2022. And the arguments I already explained. September, red month. During the summer holidays, nobody. So if I was him, I would do that. And I think he's going to do that, according to me. Let's see how it will play out.
I think if it was ready, he would have launched it. I don't think he's trying to time it by the minute, like, oh, BTC just hit a new low, let me hit the launch button.
Well, comrade, here's the thing. So I specifically asked Richard this on a live stream. Okay. He said he wants to launch it when it's ready. This is what he told me live. He wants to launch it as soon as it's ready. And then I said, but you don't have a strategy for timing the when to launch it. And he said, no, I want to launch it when it's ready. But then he told me, he said, but there is a benefit to launching in a bear market. Period. He said that. Now, the other day, he tweeted out that this is happening. We've wrote most of the script in Golang to do this, make it throughput, everything's there. And then he said, and by the way, you got to listen to what he says. He's so calculated. And by the way, half community would prefer that I launch this in a bear market. So for them, they're very happy with the delays. What is he
Right,
saying to
but
you? He's
I
saying to
look
you, comrade.
right,
He's
but I
saying to
look
you
at
that he
sorry, go
understands
ahead.
that, right? No, I'm just saying that the fact that he puts that out there, it speaks to the reality that he is very aware that launching this thing in a bear market is advantageous for the community and that half the community wants that to be done. And it just so happens that we're at the 99th yard line with the thing, and the timing of the coming of the bear market, the bottoming out, just so happens to be looking like it's perfectly timed with when they launch Pulse. So maybe if the market wasn't the way that it is now, that would, what you're saying is true. But because we're at the 99 yard line and the market decided to do what he thought it was going to do, and they're hitting at the same time, don't you think it would be smart to, when the chain is launched, but we're ready to go, that you would at that point then, because of the bear market, consider when to launch it? Because it would be more beneficial. I think that you do. I don't think that you just disregard where you are in the market, especially if you're that close to a bottom where Bitcoin's about to drop out from the bottom. Imagine you launch the chain and Bitcoin goes from 37 down to freaking, 15,000, and your chart looks like it just got pooped on. So you want to try to hedge against that as well, and that's just a basic premise of launching a blockchain, in my opinion.
Right. So how I looked at that tweet was Richard kind of softening the blow. That's what I got from it. It was like, hey, bad news, but hey, good news, right? That's how I looked at it. I mean, I'm not I'm not I'm not arguing for one way or another, right? Pulse is gonna do what it's gonna do. But let's talk about the hex price, right? Uh, is the perceived value of Pulse lower now that Hex has dropped almost 50% from like the sacrifice value?
Absolutely not. Pulse has nothing to do with Hex. Pulse has absolutely nothing to do with Hex, other than Hex is going to run on Pulse the way it was intended to be run on ETH. But Richard said time and time again, Hex and Pulse have nothing to do with one another in that sense. And that's why he gave zero preferation. He gave nothing, no benefits to Hexicans regarding Pulsechain. So no, I don't think you can value Pulsechain based off of Hex. That, to me, that's ludicrous.
Well, there's more nuance to what I'm saying. And I'm not making a statement, right? I'm just trying to trying to understand the psychology of the people that are involved. And let's be real, there's a lot of Hexicans, right? So let's put yourself in the shoes of a Hexican that has lost a whole lot of value, right? And then Hex is down, and then they see there, hey, Pulse came out, I'm up a little bit, my Hex is down 50% or whatever. How do you think that's gonna affect that? I'm just trying to get other people's opinions on this.
The Hexicans sacrificed their Hex and got their wealth preserved with their sacrifice.
Absolutely, they did.
Their Hex are very happy. And the Hexicans that are using the system as it's intended by being staked don't care about these drops in price.
And they're, in terms of Hexicans in quotes, there is one cycle within the last, from the sacrifice set from Pulsechain that came in and bought from 17 on up to 50. Those people are in the red. That's a cycle downturn for the whole market. So when you say Hexicans, it's really only the newest Hexicans that came in during the sacrifice set that are down. Everybody else is way up. And the fact that we did have a blow off top on the chart of Hex based off of artificial pumps because we were using Hex to get more USD value out of the sacrifice. If you're not taking that into consideration when you look at the chart, you're not understanding where we're at in the chart, right? We have massive amounts of value preservation, like he was saying, because we sacrificed it at these highs, and our sacrifices are like steroids, like stable coins on steroids at this point. So the large majority of Hexicans, in my opinion, are way up, whether they got in way before the sacrifice sets or they sacrificed for the Pulsechain, and they're not down 85% like the rest of the market is, right? It's sitting there in Pulsechain and PulseX, pretty much one of the best places you can be in crypto for where we're at. So I don't look at it like that.
I think he was referring to the people who bought like at 20 cents, 50 cents.
That's what I said. Between 17 and 50 cents, that newest group of Hexicans are down, but the rest are not.
So, man, tell me what's I guess there's pros and cons to both, right? Let's say you launch in a bull market, you're already halfway through the bull market, you can only write it up so much, right? But there's a lot of liquidity slushing around, there's a lot of money, like more people becoming richer, right? So they're throwing money everywhere, they're more risk on, right? But when you launch in a risk off environment, and then people have losses, let's say in their stock portfolios and other cryptos that are holding, right? They're holding, and then Pulse does like, let's just say a 2x, right? And they're like, it's a different type of mindset. Everybody's in a scarcity risk off mindset, and they're like, shit, I might as well take some off the table to cover some of my losses here. Not to mention the leverage folks, right? So I'm looking at both sides, right? If we time it, let's say perfectly, and it is the bottom of the bear market and we start going up, that's one thing. But if we launch and there's another like 6 months of bear market, all I'm saying is the pump might not be as crazy as it would be otherwise, and it also might
Yeah,
give you opportunities to maybe buy in and accumulate.
those people are going to be happy making some of their money back with the 2x, and then they're going to see all their other assets going nowhere, and then they're going to look back at another 1,000% increase in Pulse, and they're going to be like, shit, why did I sell that 2x, pay the 35% short-term capital gains on it, and now I'm about to just buy in at 1,000% higher. There's going to be a large cohort of people that do that.
Yeah, and does the smart money come in and buy when blood is in the streets or at a high? Okay, so there's a lot of people that took profits in Hex, in ETH, in Bitcoin, all these things at highs, and they're waiting for it to bottom out so they can find those digital assets that are, undervalued. So yeah, the pump, if he times this perfectly, you might not have the super pump initially that you thought you were going to get, but you will capitalize on every freaking dollar over the next 6 months that woulda and coulda entered Pulsechain. And as the market goes up, the X's on Pulse and PulseX will be tremendously more versus starting it out in a bull or a mid bull and then watching it tank.
Hey, we got hands raised. John.
Yeah, I also think that, if we have a flawless launch, and people start catching wind of that, you could have a lot of money coming in from other chains onto Pulsechain. So, or just from all over the place. So we really don't know. We could have, a very successful launch and this thing could just take off. We could do, I don't know, God, 1,000x in a year, maybe even.
Hey, John, you're unmuted.
Yes, thanks for unmuting me. Sup, everyone. I guess I'm one of the new hexicans, bought at 10 cents. Appreciate the talk about the fundamentals. But anyway, I have a question. I'd love to understand how exactly Pulse is gonna solve the gas fee problem compared to Ethereum, especially a few years down the road. Because if it reaches the same amount of users as Ethereum, is the gas fee gonna be as high as Ethereum's, or like what's the principal difference between Pulse and Ethereum regarding gas fees? Is it just proof of stake because Ethereum's gonna have that as well, or are there any other like design differences?
Crypto safe. Did you want to take that one? I thought you were going to speak up, making a pancake.
I could, but just technically speaking, I didn't see the code exactly. So what I can tell you from what I currently know is like regarding Ethereum. First of all, it's still buggy because there is someone called Gamma who is here, a member of this Telegram group, and he told us that basically he's running on his own computer the node validator for Ethereum currently, and this thing currently is constantly crashing. It's been like almost 5 years that each year they tell us, yes, we are going to launch, yes, we are going to launch, and they always postpone. Okay, and for you, Ethereum 2.0, the merge, they are only going to basically go from proof of work to proof of stake. So basically less pollution, and that's pretty much it. But they don't plan to touch on the S-load function. And this one is basically responsible of all the high gas fees. So it's not going to change the price. And look, how long did they take for basically just releasing that? So imagine how long they will again take to one day, even if it's not right now even scheduled, to come up to that idea and start developing that and get rid of those horrible high gas fees. That's my first argument. Why Pulsechain is already basically going to provide you that. Then regarding your specific question, and basically Pulsechain got rid of this S-load function problem. See, that basically pushes the high gas price. Okay, and for the other thing, it's not the same tokenomics. Look at the tokenomics of Ethereum. Look at the tokenomics of Pulsechain, and this will basically answer your question. Then, technically speaking, exactly what it does at the instruction, being really close to the instruction, I don't have an eye on the code, so I'm not going to tell you BS or inventing new stuff. But with just that, I mean, you are at the best place possible, currently. That's what I want.
Yeah. So with ETH, with the merge, that is not an implementation of what you think is ETH 2.0 that's going to solve gas fees. It's going to bring the network to a proof of stake consensus mechanism. In terms of Ethereum fixing gas fees, that doesn't happen until sharding is implemented, which is literally probably like 4 to 5 years away. Okay, and a lot of people don't know that. Secondly, the gas on Pulsechain now, you're talking about like not even pennies to do transactions, and they're doing things right now, like for example with the Golang update to the validator script, that even makes throughput much faster, and like you were saying earlier, it's going to make it even cheaper to do transactions. So if you've got throughput that is 40x, 100x more than Ethereum or whatever the hell it's going to be, right? There's no way that you're going to be running into a problem with gas fees anytime soon. When you do run into a problem with gas fees on Pulsechain, the individuals who got into Pulsechain early have become massively wealthy at that point. Okay, when Pulsechain gets to the point to where there's problems with gas fees, the early adopters have just they turned into the whales, like the whales on Ethereum. But that's just way down the road, man. And ETH isn't anywhere near launching anything that's going to deal with the gas fees anytime soon.
How come the gas fee issue wasn't anticipated by the ETH developers? What was it? Just the success was too fast, too soon?
It was. Nope. They knew it was going to be an issue, and they decided that they wanted to be first mover advantage and that they would deal with the problem as the problem arose. They never thought that they were going to grow as fast as they did, and the problem was going to happen as fast as it came. But they got the first mover advantage, and that's what they wanted.
But now it's just a gigantic ship that's too hard to change course.
It's very hard to change course. You're talking about putting a train on another track going 100 miles an hour with every car full. It's very hard to do what they're trying to do.
And here comes the magnetic bullet train, Pulsechain.
Is there anyone that can explain the difference between the new code that they're rewriting the Pulsechain contract? I know that it's supposed to be superior, and I was just curious if anyone knew the exact difference and why it's going to be superior.
They're rewriting the script that has to do with validator rotation and everything that has to do with securing the network out of Solidity and into a programming language called Golang. Golang allows you to multi-thread. It allows you, instead of just having vertical lines of information, it allows the servers to process much more information and do multi-threading. So it's all about throughput and about the speed and quality of the network, how many transactions it can handle, and gives the ability for the coding language to be able to communicate in such a way to where the servers can actually clone themselves and create much more throughput than Ethereum could even try to imagine, even after launching their full version of what they think they're going to launch 5 years from now. So it's all about throughput and optimization. That's what the whole thing is all about.
So you're saying that Pulsechain is 5 years faster than Ethereum regarding gas fees, for instance?
Oh, right now? I mean, just if you just look at what they have right now on testnet, it's 5 years faster than Ethereum. There's no comparison, man. 3-second blocks currently. Okay, that's before they optimize that the stuff that they're doing now. 3-second blocks versus 13-second blocks. It'll be 12-second blocks once they do the merge. So you're talking 3-second blocks versus 12-second blocks. That's currently right now, right? So that's 4 or 5 times the throughput of Ethereum just from that one thing alone. That's on chain, on testnet right now.
I had a failed transaction providing liquidity, and like I clicked on the link, and by the time the link loaded on Pulsechain, it was already like 20 blocks confirmed. I was like, what?
Honestly, the more I learn about Pulsechain, the more I'm blown away about just how much it's going to beat the freaking pants off everyone else. It's like putting an Olympic athlete in a Special Olympics. Like, I know it's kind of a crude analysis or a comparison, but it just feels like it's just not even a contest. It's unfair how much we're going to dominate.
Thank you, comrade, and safe trade for answering.
Hey, Tiger, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to hear your voice. Please wait, thank you.
That didn't sound good. That didn't sound good, Mello.
Yeah. No homo.
I just wanted to hear your voice, Tiger. That's funny.
Yeah, so I heard the conversation earlier about the best time to launch, whether it's bull or bear market. I think I read a study on that some time ago, and they found that the projects were most successful earliest were the ones that launch towards the end of a bear market. The best time to launch would be right at the end of the bear market, right before the bull market comes. Those that launch in the middle of a bull market didn't do so well until the second cycle. So studies have shown that the launch in the bear market would be the best time.
Right, but towards the end, right?
And
Not in a 6 months. I think that's kind of how it played out with Hex too. It was towards the end, and then it kind of entered the bull market phase.
You know why exactly, according to you? Just to talk about it like that, I can give you my point of view. It's the best time basically to launch, according to your studies, during at the bottom of a bear market, any new project. Do you know why?
Right, because then there's only, I mean, any pairing, right? If everything's moving up, it's taking everything up with it.
Sure, but let's
So
say
it shows a good graph.
even if it reaches the bottom during a bear market phase, it's going to consolidate over there, and the price action is going to be terrible for most of the coins. And then if you have a good project like Pulsechain and you launch at that moment, the goal is to basically have all eyes on your project and attract money at the launch on your project. Why? Because it will be the only possibility, even for the haters, at that moment to make some money. See what I mean? And that's why it's good, because any bottom of any bear market is followed up by long weekly, monthly, terrible price action and consolidation phase. And that's why it's the best moment. Not when even it's going to pump. Otherwise, it could lead us really far away from now. No. I'm just talking, okay, price, the bottom, everybody is disappointed, terrible price action starting to be formed, and then boom, Pulsechain comes up. And yes, everyone is like, wow, okay, I heard that there is this possibility. And then they see, okay, first day it pumps. Okay, second day it pumps. I should look it up. What is all about? And then they read about it. Fork of Ethereum, this fundamental, this creator of Hex, huge community. Boom, they put their money, and then drives the price action even more to the upside. And then, of course, we will see a big retracement, but that's part of the game with any crypto. And then consolidating with like all the other altcoins and even BTC, and then next bull run, and boom, next other pump. And this one is going to be huge. And everyone who will basically believe in that and be a really loyal hodler will make huge gains and will be the winners, will be part of the winner group. Yeah, and that's my opinion.
Right. So there's usually like a launch phase pump, and then it kind of comes down, consolidates, and then you see like the real, mega pump. Um, yeah. So I'm looking at 2024 for it to really kind of, show what it's gonna do.
Yeah, definitely. So there will be at least two huge opportunities soon with Pulsechain.
And you're right about that. It's generally a 2-year time frame. In terms of when a thing launches to when you start getting maximum velocity starting to hit. It's generally 2 years.
And it lines up with the macro, right? Because that's really when I think the macro is gonna start. I don't think we see a V-shaped recovery in this environment. So it lines up perfectly when everything else is gonna start recovering too.
Absolutely. And you even want to dream more? Nobody mentioned that. And I'm going to make all of you dream right now. And you are going to say, wow, this is Pulsechain is the opportunity, and I need to buy that as soon as it will be released. What is basically comparable, but it's a tech way, it's like less superior, because it doesn't have this huge ecosystem. not all those good fundamentals, etc. Take Harmony One. Harmony One, in terms of tokenomics, in terms of what it is, way less superior. And look at how well it performed during the last cycle, during the last month. And then you will see, and you're going to tell yourself, wow, I can really definitely, and it's definitely doable, I can really become a millionaire with Pulsechain. Look at the chart and you will see what I'm talking about. And it's really, really quite similar in terms of tokenomics. Of course, not as good as Pulsechain in terms of the tech behind and the ecosystem and the community and so on. And look at how well it performed. So if this BS performed as good as that, and how early at this stage we will be at the fork, and also for other people who sacrificed already, I mean, you are at the right place, guys. I don't know. If you doubt on that again, I think there is a huge problem.
Hey V, what's going on, V? V or Vay? Just come back up here whenever you're ready.
Mello, you a moderator?
You said what? Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Nice. What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Chilling. It's a little bit slow on the Telegram the last week or so, but enjoying the personalities and everybody else on here. 5 o'clock is my fun time on here. CST.
Oh, by the way, I got one of those Mavics.
Which one?
I think it was the Pro 2 or the one thing, regular Pro.
Ooh, it's nice, man. It's nice. You got the Cadillac of the drones.
So yeah, we're about to go to LA and shoot this music video, so we needed one.
But don't forget to always calibrate your GPS everywhere you go. I don't care if you go across town. Make sure you do that GPS calibration. Because if you don't, you could have a fly off.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Just because the drone might think you're across town.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because if that sucker gets out of view and you press return to home, and that sucker thinks home is 20 miles away, it's going to go home.
Well, in that case, it would be 3,000 miles away.
More than likely, it would make you do a recalibration at that point. But I'm more talking about like 4 or 5 miles away. You go to your buddy's house or somewhere, and you forget to do the calibration. It doesn't happen that often, but it still happens.
Well, at least if it ends up back at my house, I'm good.
If it makes it. These bad boys can fly for about 30 to 45 minutes now. So there's battery technology and motor technologies went through the roof.
You know, I decided that I don't need a new boat. I'm going to buy me a submarine.
Joke's on you. A submarine is a boat. Underwater boat.
My dad was a submariner. He used to say that same thing all the time.
It's funny because it's true.
Yep.
When we going fishing, Redneck?
Going fishing?
Your underwater boat.
Dude, hey, look, you know, seeing as I live on the lake, I just go out here, put my submarine in the water, have a little, like a diving hatch in that thing. Go find the fish, run out there with a spear gun and whack. You know, make this thing a lot easier on myself.
Quite frankly.
Oh man, I forgot. I gotta come fishing with you, man. I'm trying to come to Aquas soon.
Don't be precedent on my fishing time there, Mello. And I'm trying to work out a deal.
Man, you enjoy. Are you here? No, exactly.
When you get up, hey, Mello, we'll go fishing. No problem.
I'm gonna be with the cool kids.
All right, it's only 45 minutes from me. I'm all I gotta do is drive up there. I don't know how to fish. I don't know how to fish, so you're gonna have to teach me.
That's no problem, man. It's fishing's like well, it's like hunting. It's just kind of sitting back, waiting. Hopefully, they're biting at the time.
Just
Crypto,
remember,
basically.
there's a reason why they call it fishing and they don't call it catching. Boom, boom.
Hey, Redneck, is there any like outside ranges around you?
Outside what? I'm sorry.
Ranges.
What about shooting ranges?
Yeah.
I think there's one up in Cartersville, but I just go down to my hunting property.
I've been looking, trying to test my vector out.
Yeah, you got the Governor's Gun Club, which is in Kennesaw.
Earlier, somebody referred to I believe the Pulse Sacrifice and RH switching into USDC to be able to pump the products that he supported, obviously at his own time frame. But I believe in the video he referred to the AA, which would have been the adoption amplifier for the HEX sacrifice initially, rather than the Pulse sacrifice.
That's not RH's wallet, and he has never said he would do anything like that. So I would never expect that. Whoever said that was incorrect.
He didn't say that RH said he would do it. What was mentioned was RH implied that a coin founder would do that example. And there is a bunch of USDC from the SACs 1 and 2 that is just sitting somewhere, right?
There's USDC and DAI in the wallets.
So I have a question about those stable coins on Pulsechain. If you know, Richard Hart always talks about how it's gonna be real funny to see how these companies are gonna react after this copy, and if they're gonna ban the users, ban the PRC tokens, this and that, and practically he's hinting at it, hinting at an implosion of these stable coins because of this fork that he's creating. I mean, what do you guys think about, like, if this really would happen? Like, all the stable coins are just gonna, I mean, what can they do? Either ban anything from Pulsechain or to save their asses, or they're gonna like have to accept Pulsechain? What do you guys think?
I didn't catch that. If you want to repeat it.
Basically, Richard is trying to hint at an implosion of stable coins because of this fork copy. So I'm thinking, like, is everything gonna go to shit because of this? I mean, the stable coin is gonna go to shit, but like, is that what I'm trying to say? Like, do you think the stable coins are gonna go to shit, or they're just gonna block this whole copy, like their copies, the stable coin copies from the Pulsechain network, and then we're gonna be forced to use our own technology to find a way to create our own, basically, stable coin.
To my knowledge, based on the facts in terms of services of Circle, there are possibilities where they might invalidate it, but it's very it's all assumptions and speculations. But yeah, there should be some type of stable coin, of course, that's going to be available for you to use. Also, you could be able to bridge in stable coins as well into the post-chain ecosystem.
Okay, yeah, because not that we need stable coins in a bull market, but it's only for bear market. So I mean, it's not like we're gonna need a stable coin for at least another, what? Where are we at? 4 years, 2026.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need them. We're gonna need them, but I don't know, like how where your question is, like if is it gonna go down or if it's gonna crash or anything like that. That's a different question, like different thing to look into. So there's not really I can say to that. But cocaine and hookers, if you had someone to chime in or question. Hey, cocaine and hookers. Hey, Zay, how you doing?
Hey, I'm not too bad, thank you. And yourself? Are you good?
You got to speak up.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, so who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Mello.
Mello. Okay, are you one of the admin on the chat?
Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff. It's just there's a lot of different messages in the chat. It's hard to decipher. You know, just people saying that be careful of you know, scams and scammers and things like that.
Zay, do you have a question?
I do, yes. I'm interested in obviously Pulse, and I currently own some Ether, and I know obviously the sacrifice period which happened last year. I just want some clarification. Firstly, I have a Coinbase and a MetaMask wallet. I want to know how I can join the network. What's the easiest way?
First thing I would recommend is, do you have a hardware wallet? Do you know of a hardware wallet?
Yeah, I know there's Trezor, and if I'm not mistaken, there's another one. I don't have a hardware wallet as of yet, but I intend on getting one.
Okay, that's cool. So, we recommend here security and safety first of your assets. So, grabbing a hardware wallet and then setting it up, securing your seed phrases is your first step into coming into the Pulsechain network or crypto. Now, once you do that, you can come back here. You can also go to howtopulse.com. There's a wallets tab where you can go in and look and read videos attached to it that you can read upon. And if you have any more detailed questions, then you can come in here and we'll help you. Now from there, once you have acquired your hardware wallet, you would then make your seed phrase and then fund it. Now, if you already have assets in your MetaMask, if you have assets in your Coinbase, like you said, you can send it to your hardware wallet. I wouldn't recommend, since you're new, you don't have any stakes. I wouldn't recommend migrating. I would just stay with getting a whole new 24-word seed and use the old 12-word to basically take all your liquid assets, if you have any, and move them all to your hardware. From there, you can wait until Pulsechain comes out, and all that is a RPC change in your MetaMask as you connect your hardware to the MetaMask.
Okay, it sounds like there's a lot of steps there. I think first things first, I need to get hold of a hardware wallet. Once I've got a hold of that, I've connected it to my MetaMask wallet. Now I've already just set up my MetaMask wallet and I've transferred just a percentage of an Ether to there just to ensure that I've got something in there to be able to trade. So I think first things first, what you've mentioned is security. So if I can get the seed with my sort of hardware wallet first, and then what I'll do is I'll seek some guidance after from this chat group.
One other thing, make sure that you're not doing crypto on your phone. If you are, you need to make sure you get a new computer that you only use for crypto. Please do not use something that's already that you've been going to porn sites and stuff like that. Not saying that you do, but make sure you're using a computer that you only use for crypto. If you try to hook up and you already have an infected computer with malware, that could cause you problems, as somebody found out the other day.
Luckily, I've gone through the porn phase, and I'm more sensible with how I behave online. I mean, my own personal computer, it's nothing too powerful. It's just a standard Lenovo, and I do my basic sort of online activity, whether it's a little bit of shopping or online banking. It's relatively secure. I've got my usual sort of security on there, typical sort of firewalls and whatnot. But I think that's good advice. I might just invest in another laptop specifically just for my crypto activity.
And sorry, one more thing, not to overwhelm you with all this new information, but you mentioned Trezor, so you're familiar with that name. Only buy that Trezor directly from the manufacturer, from Trezor.io. Don't buy it from eBay or Amazon or any of those types of places.
Okay. I mean, I've been to the website. I think there's a couple of wallets. There's Trezor and Ledger, and when I was looking at both of them specifically, the Ledger one seems to be a little bit cheaper. Now, I'm based in the
Trezor
UK.
one.
That seems, the Trezor. It seems more affordable. I can place an order literally now. I've got it up on screen, depending on how long it takes. So I mean, is there a preference to which hardware wallet I go for?
Trezor is the preference.
Yeah, you're gonna hear most people in here say Trezor. It's totally up to you. They're both good. Ledger has a couple workarounds you got to deal with when you're connecting to MetaMask, but aside from that, they both offer the same security. As far as getting support in this room, you'll get better support on Trezor than Ledger's, but it's up to you at the end of the day.
Okay, I mean, it's just there's a significant it's a significant difference in terms of the cost of the piece of hardware itself.
Right.
So I'll make a decision in the next coming days. I've got a weekend away planned, and I intend to do this in the coming days because I really do want to. I want to make sure that I can. How can I put it? Join the Pulsechain if I can. Support the movement.
Yeah, come back in here and sorry, go ahead, Jay, man.
I was just gonna say, if you're gonna go with Trezor, a Model 1 is plenty. It does a 24-word seed. The Model T is pretty fancy and quite a bit more expensive, and it only offers a 12-word seed. So if you're gonna get a Model T, get one of each, so you can have one that generates 24s, or just get a couple of Model 1s. I mean, they're just as effective security-wise.
So, is there any indication of when the Pulsechain.net is going to go live? Because I was looking on Pulsechain.com, and the last sort of report on there, I think it was just a few days ago, was saying it's coming, but it's not definitive as to when it's going to be.
No, not yet.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, just come back in here, and just you'll learn a lot. There's a lot of smart people that get parked in here and actually just conversate with the community and teach us a lot. So great place to get some good resourceful
Sincerely, that's good to know. I mean,
information.
I'm relatively new. I invested some of my own hard-earned cash with setting up some miners, and I'm mining Ether at the moment. And just with the cost of just energy at the moment, it's not proving as profitable as I first thought it would be. But nevertheless, I'm still acquiring some Ether, on a daily basis. So, I mean, what I've accumulated so far, I'm just now getting everything set up to be able to, diversify and buy some of the newer sort of crypto that's coming out, and I like the sound of Pulse at the moment. And I guess I'm just, one, learning as I'm going along, and two, also just making sure that I'm safe with my with my assets, and three, just making a decision as and when things are able to become available to me, really. So
Okay, cool. So it sounds like you don't know anything about Hex either. I don't want to bombard you with any more information, but on howtopulse.com, it talks about other than wallets, it talks about Pulsechain, PulseX, which is our decentralized exchange, and also Hex, which is a token that's already been out and with 100 uptime. So I feel like will benefit off of that in this time too, if you stake and all that, and learn how to delay your gratification. So that's a good source, howtopost.com. And also, if you want, go to hexnoob.com.
okay, I will do. I think over the next few days, I'll order a hardware wallet, and then in the interim, while I'm waiting for that to arrive, I'll just build my knowledge on these different things you mentioned, things like Hex, and obviously go to howtopulse.com. I think all of the information's on there, really, to go through. And yeah, no, I much appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my queries.
Hey, can
Also,
I here?
when you do your new computer, do not do a Chromebook or anything like that. Just make sure it's basically a Windows-based system. So like a HP. Try
Okay.
to not get anything that's really made in China either.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, make sure it's from said merchant. Is this going to be your first time getting a cold storage wallet, a cold wallet, if you will?
Yeah, if you like, yeah, something like that. Again, I'm getting used to all of the terminology as well. Some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff I'm familiar with. Some of the stuff I'm just learning as I go along. So
Okay, when you in it, when you get that cold storage wallet, the best person to talk to in this chat is Papa. But I'm gonna tell you, if that cold storage wallet asks you for your seed phrase or for any kind of authority, do not give it that and question that, and then get back with Papa because he's more informational on this topic, and I'm just trying to prevent you from getting rinsed.
okay,
So if that you need like there's some guys on here that already have their own treasure, and what you could do as soon as you get the package is describe how it looks and verify if all the items in the package are correct and it was sealed properly, and then you can go from there. But you never ever 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 enter your seed phrase, even if it's asking you. Do not ever do that. Sorry.
okay, okay. I'll bear that in mind. Never to input my seed phrase. Okay.
Even if it's on the dashboard of like the treasure or whatever, and it's saying,
Hmm.
hey, migrate the wallet and input your seed phrase here. No, do not.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so that's great. That's great information, crypto. Definitely. Also, make sure any dApps, decentralized applications that you go into, when you connect your wallet, you know exactly these dApps that you're connecting to. Um, then when you download things like MetaMask or any wallets on your extensions, just make sure you download it from the source and nowhere else.
Okay.
Also, if you see anything in your wallets that you don't recognize, you didn't buy it, just ignore it.
Okay. Okay. But much appreciated. I think for now I've got a clear picture of kind of next steps, and then I've joined this group, and what I will do when there's an opportunity to, I'll put some questions forward to you kind people.
Yeah, man, this is the place to be, crypto, man.
Yeah.
We're pretty much the pioneers of a new wave on uh, a blockchain. If I'm not mistaken, that's about to change the world.
Yes, I'm excited about it. I'm excited for after a very long time, having gone through a dark period in my life, I have a renewed optimism about taking greater control of my of my financial future. That's the honest answer to that.
Take control of your digital assets. You're
Yeah,
taking control of your digital assets and becoming your own bank.
yeah, yes, absolutely. Um, okay, guys, I'm going to jump off. Um, have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you guys are, and I look forward to speaking with you in the near future.
Definitely. And come back in here and chill with us, say.
Yeah, I will do definitely, Mello. It was nice speaking with you. Thank you. It was much appreciated. Take care, everyone.
Welcome to the family.
Hey, can I ask a question uh, pertaining to like I already know how to get my money, my fiat money onto crypto, and I know there's a few select ways of getting my money off and into USD. Um, is it only the exchanges that my offer me my crypto back to fiat money? Is it only the exchanges?
For now, yeah.
So these exchanges are not validating if they're not validating back these receipts of money. These exchanges are not validating anyone.
No, they're not. The only thing they validate is that if you have the funds in your centralized wallet, you can pull it out. It might take a while to hit your bank account because your bank is going to validate where the money's coming from.
If these exchanges are only validating what's in my wallet and not how I accumulated my wealth, then my friend, we have a big problem.
Well, they're gonna they have everything you add send from the DeFi wallet to your centralized wallet. They have a statement for, meaning they have every transaction that you deposited into that account and you withdrew to your bank account. So all of that is in the statement file form and put up in a PDF file that's in the application of that centralized exchange.
Yeah, I'm familiar about that. Um, there's just not something in place of what I'm envisioning. So essentially, these exchanges have banking, routing, and counting numbers to these spammers and hackers that pulled out, and nobody's validating whether or not they got their funds legitimate.
Hey, dude, this is the blockchain, bro. This is all about anonymity.
Yeah, but once you put your information, routing, and accounting to said bank, um, well, how do you become
Hey,
anonymous
let me
after
ask
that?
you this: Have you reported your incident?
So this is what I've done. I've contacted the FBI with the IC3. I made a statement, and I'm gonna be fully transparent when they come knocking on my door. And I'm already gonna have a game plan because I think I'm gonna get a couple bozos, maybe some that are traversing Web 3.0, but I'm really hoping that they are very traversing online
Yeah,
currency.
your mic is wrecked. Your mic is wrecked. For me, your mic is wrecked.
Can you hear me better?
But hey, you're it sounds like right now, like you're trying to come up with like ways why it should, what happened shouldn't have happened. It happens even in the real world. Centralized banks get hacked, get scammed, and all of that. So it's part of the game, and right now all you have to do is just better secure yourself. And you can put in the statement, give them all the transaction hashes, all the
Hey, Mello, can you hear me
transaction
good? Because I can't hear you
the
good.
public addresses, and then if they can find a chain that will he left. Oh, you're here. But yeah, if you find an investigator that will a chain analysis, yeah, I can hear you now.
Can,
Can you hear me?
can you hear me? Am I
Can you hear me?
speaking loudly and good? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Hey, crypto.
Hello? Hello?
Mello's right. We can hear you. I think.
Whoever just said that, you can hear me loud and clear?
Right. I think Mello's got connection problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Mello, I
can.
think you got some connection issues, buddy, because you were chopping for me. Now, I don't know what
Oh,
you heard
okay.
5 minutes ago of my rant, but I already made a claim to the FBI. I already made claims to where I bought my assets. I know that my ETH and my all my tokens and all that, like that's gonna be a needle in a haystack. But my NFTs have artificial um, documents of like 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 they have artificial. I can't formulate the word right now,
So,
but that's
what's
a
your
big case on
question?
it.
What's your question? You're not getting any of those things back. Doesn't matter if you contact the FBI. This is just a learning lesson in crypto, bro. I've lost
Yeah,
assets
no, I
before. I've clicked links. You got to kiss that goodbye and learn from the mistakes. You're not getting any of that back.
okay, so answer me this, because I respect your responses. Then why do I have to be transparent to the government of where I reside, of everything that I have to do has to do with crypto, and why is it going to bite me in the ass if I don't be transparent with them? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, because that's really like if you want to go up against the government and the IRS, then that's on you. But like, I don't know, why did Lauren Hill have to come back and pay her taxes? Because that's what you're obligated to do as an American, whatever country you're in. So, you know, you can get with a CPA. The thing you should do is document your loss. So, you know, if you don't want to pay taxes on that, then maybe don't. Right? Like I lost a huge asset, and I paid for a crypto blockchain sort of like cyber crimes detective to go and really kind of do on-chain analysis just to document it. But beyond that, like, you know, unless it was like some huge ring where one day they crack it and you're on a list and they're like, you know, but what? How much did you lose? $1,000? Like in the grand scheme of things, like
I understand that I'm not going to get any of my cryptocurrency back, but the thing that you're not realizing is I had maybe, I don't know, 3 or 5 NFTs and domains. If they took my domains, that they can't take my domains because it's registered to my wallet. And then my NFTs, my artificial currency, if you will, I don't know if this is a real thing, but I'm speculating and I'm pretty right. Those NFTs, they have a sort of uniqueness because I know Ethereum and Bitcoin and all that is not a big ass pool.
Dude, you're the same dude that's been here for 3 days, right? You changed your name, cool. But like, you gotta stop using this chat to like have these conversations. It's like it's exhausting. This is a chat for PulseX, HEX. People might have questions. It's like, I'm sorry it happened. You're new to crypto. Welcome. It happens to everybody. You have to understand that. Like Seth Green just got hosed because he clicked the link, right? You have to go slow and take the right security protocols. So I preach them in here. And then you have to stick by them. So this is a learning lesson. We're not the U.S. government. We're not CPAs, right? We're not tax advisors. We can't tell you to do or not do what you're going to do, but you've exhausted the conversation in this room. So I'm going to politely ask you to open the floor back up for other people and go figure your shit out. Pull up your big boy pants and take care of it and bite the bullet and don't do it again.
Crypto, you should party because you lost just $1,000 for this lesson. There are members here that lost multi-million dollars accounts. So with your $1,000 paid lesson, you should go and have a party, to be honest.
Yeah, whoever was talking, Mango, I respect your responses and I totally agree with you. And I thank you for your condolences. Your demeanor, on the other hand, I have to answer you in a certain way. And I don't mean to use the chat the way you don't want me to, but $1,000 to you of an NFT to me is generational wealth, and that's just not.
Shut the fuck up and stop using this chat for it, bro. My demeanor's like this because you've been doing it for 4 fucking days. Shut up and go deal with it. This isn't the chat for it, bro. Go find some Discord where people give a shit. This isn't it.
Hey, let me just say one real quick thing to the guy who lost his funds. $1,000 is just a negligible amount. It may be a lot to you, but in this industry, I mean, it's like peanuts. It's nothing in comparison to what people lose every day. So I can tell you right now, the FBI is not going to dedicate absolutely any resources to locating and investigating your loss, especially once they realize what exactly happened. You know, that you made a mistake. You clicked on a phishing site, and you know, unfortunately, that's your fault for not being informed. It's unfortunate that it happened. It really is, but you know, just take it as a learning lesson. The chances that you're going to get any of that back are slim to none. And just, you know, I would move on from that. But I
totally understand. The reason why people do cyber attacks is because it's only 5 years in prison, and that's not shit. And if this market multiplies and has multipliers, then I think punishments for those said federal fines should be multiplied.
Crypto.
What
The
what
last
people are
thing
trying
I'm
to
going to say about this crypto, and take it for what you will. Your seed phrase were compromised. You no longer own any of that. No longer own your crypto. No longer own your NFTs. You've lost it all. There's nothing anybody can do for any of it. Doesn't matter that you've had it personally registered. Once your seed phrase was taken, you no longer own that computer or that crypto, NFT, or anything. You've been rinsed. Yes, I'm sorry it's happened to you. But
this isn't the cope room, bro.
it's just a small loss in comparison to what is lost out there every day. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So just learn from it. The FBI is not going to do anything about it. I personally wouldn't have called the FBI for that. But that's just my personal opinion. And, move on. Lessons learned,
Hey,
Hey,
I
Profex,
got
you know what these guys did, boss?
yes. Basically what he just said.
Mellow, your mic is indirect.
yeah, Mello, you sound like Illuminati.
Can't hear you, Mello.
Just
Hey,
change the
Profex, you're the
subject. I'm
Profex, you're the
literally
people trying to
rather
get in.
talk about Richard's pee than this shit. Just talk about something else.
What are you doing, Jaconator? Why do you need Profex? You know I can answer anything Profex has.
Yeah, but you can't let people in the chat, redneck.
Would
Hey,
be
Captain Mango, do you have a lot of mangoes? I need some.
You can just go to the supermarket.
I love mangoes.
Me too, man. Me too.
Redneck, where's the price going? That's what I want to know.
Hex is going to 3 cents. Great opportunity to buy all the way there.
All right, I'm gonna see if you're right. I'll wait till it gets to 3 cents.
No, sir. You buy all the way there.
No, I'm buying all at 3 cents.
Don't listen to me. I'm not a financial analyst, buddy. I was just trying to tell you, buy the dips. Every dip, buy the dip.
You're my psychiatrist.
I would probably give some body parts for 3 cent hex. So I was kind of being facetious with you there, buddy. Buy the dips.
Some big body parts.
Yeah, definitely
Get
better, bigger
Jaconator
conference than
Don't get
6.3.
Jaconator excited.
In all honesty, Mr. Jiggs, I did pick some up about 6.8. So I was happy about that.
All right, sounds good.
How low did it go? Did it touch 6.5? My charts are only showing 6.9.
I think it got down to 6 on deck screener. It said I think 6.68 or something like that.
It got
one
bought
of
up.
those spike downs, you know.
Yeah, it got bought up kind of nicely though. There's some okay buys coming in.
Yeah, I saw it bounce pretty nicely a little bit. So looks like it's maybe at a support level.
Well, the liquidity's been drying up, so I'd imagine this thing's starting to go up pretty good soon.
Never not listening to PulseX ever again.
What's a PulseX saying?
I was just moonboying at fucking 18. I was like, we're gonna pop here, we're gonna release, it's all gonna look good. It was just like, yeah, no. I was like, what are you talking about? We just fucking got a 50% increase. I was like, we're good, let's do this. Ooh. Gone. Could have been a nice 4x in a month.
Yeah, well, it's delayed gratification, and then
Yeah,
pick up when it's low.
I ended up just sending all of it out. I was like, fuck it. And I'll tell you what, as soon as I did it, I felt a lot better, and it's pretty nice watching the yield come in. You know, someone said before, they're like, yeah, you know, the X's are better, but I like the yield. I like the 30% yield too, when you can actually see it work. I staked for a year and probably only got about, or it was less than a year, probably only got about 10%. But staking it out 3 and 10 years, it's pretty interesting to watch that yield come through. You're like, holy shit, this can stay consistent for a few years. It's pretty well designed.
Yeah, well, if you stake while the price is low, it's better. But you know, not only that, the cost of T shares is cheaper, everything else like that. So,
But if you bought high and you like, if you were buying at 15 cents and wrote it down to 7 cents, sure, the T share is cheaper, but you also just lost half your bag in dollar value.
well, again, you didn't lose anything until you sell, and so you just hold on to it. It'll get back up there. That's not a big deal. And accumulate more while it's low, and you're getting more for your money. And then when it does get back up, what you think you've lost on the 15 sell, you've actually doubled on your 7. So it's all about cost basis and, you know, accumulating T shares. And to be able to do it at this price is great. It's like I said, I'd love for it to get down to 3 cents, not because it's wrecking people and their financial thing, but I can buy a bunch more of HEX at that price and then stake it, and I'm better off. That's the only reason why I'd like to see it go down to 3, not that it's going to wreck anybody. I don't want to see anybody get wrecked. And believe you me, I first bought into HEX when it was 30 cents. So, I mean, you know, it's all, you know, relative there.
Yeah, average.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you only get wrecked if you sell. And the other thing is, you know, these big whales coming in, they're not coming in, but they're using the staking, like really not how it's supposed to be used. You know, they're doing 300,000 for 20 days. They're just skimming the top. But I guess at least they're not pulling out. At least they're not pulling out. They're just skimming off the top.
But like those are whales from you know, prior years. I mean, like I see like 75 million hex just getting rolled around. So what do you think their game theory is in these like 30-day stakes? I mean, if they did that, I mean, I guess it's okay here, but if they've been holding that, like what's the point of
They're using it as revenue, I think. Revenue income, right? 1,000 every 2 weeks or something.
Real short stake like that, they're probably only getting like 1% yield on it. It's just to accumulate more yield, and then they get the copy, and you'll see them stake out longer term.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine who's got a large amount of hex, and he's got it staked for 30 days at a time, he tells me. And he gets a certain amount of money that it produces every month. So, but his stake is only 30 days, and I think he tells me that he takes out a certain amount every month.
when Hex starts to run away and he's has that bag, but he realizes that, man, this would be a way better 3-4 year 6-year stake, as he talked about. Like all hit, like, does he have any stakes out there, or is the majority of his bag that he's just rotating on 30-day stakes?
I think he's got all of it on 30-day stakes, all of it on one 30-day stake that he's rotating, and he takes his, what it's given him. I'm meeting with him on in a few days. We always talk about Pulse and Hex. He's been in it way longer than me, and he's the one that got me into it. I'll ask him specifically, and I'll let you guys know. But I know that his stakes for 30 days. I know that the whole amount is staked together on a 30-day stake, and he was telling me that he gets about 1,100 to 1,200 a month off of it in USD value. I don't know that he told me that like a few weeks ago. I wouldn't know what it is now, with the price drop.
If he's been staking for 30 days, for whatever length of period of time, he's been losing money every 30 months or every 30 days because Hex has been going down. So any money he's taking out, it doesn't matter. It's a loss.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know his decision-making process. He told me that he bought in at, I think he told me he bought in at 34 cents too, also. So I'm new with, with knowing how Hex works and everything. So like I said, I can't give you all of the details. I know what I've already said, but I'm going to talk to him on Wednesday, I think, and I'll get all the details. I'll let you guys know what he exactly is doing.
I can tell you the details. Today the price is 7. If it goes down to 5 and you put in $746, in 30 days you will have $546. You will lose $200. That's what happens on a 30-day stake.
Yeah, we're happy to talk about the longer stakes to get that shit locked up.
Make money on a 30-day stake unless the price stays the same or goes higher.
Right. He assumed, I remember him telling me, this is going back a few months ago, when it was projected that Hex, apparently it was projected because this is what he said, that, that it was going to go to $1. So he figured he bought a shitload at 35 cents. And then it just, went down. And, he He didn't sell any of it. So he's got it staked. It just did the opposite of what he thought it would do price-wise. So that's the situation that he's in. As to why
he would have to have a buttload of T shares to make up the cost difference. So, I mean, based on a T share, a 30-day stake doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you're not making enough yield off of it. If you have 100 T shares, well, you're making, at this point, 60 hex a day, at 7 cents, you do the math at that point, maybe it's worth it. But, for somebody that's only got a T share or something, it's not worth doing a 30-day stake.
If he's gone in since 30 cents on 30-day stakes, he's lost at least half the money he's put in there.
When you say he's lost half the money he's put in there, do you mean on paper he's lost it?
Yeah, on paper. If he hasn't sold anything or scraped anything off the top, then he's making yield. But if he's scraping all the yield off and just restaking his principal, then, he hasn't gained nothing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll find out what exactly he's done exactly and what he has been doing and we'll see what he tells me and I'll let you guys know. Because I don't know exactly the details. I just know that he has, I think, 500,000 hex or more staked at 30 days. I think it's a lot more than 500,000. I think it was $500,000. That's what he told me in hex.
So, John, what do your charts look like?
$6.5 resistant.
Just did the calculation. If he put 500,000 in, he's got 250,000 now.
Yeah, he's got 6,000 T shares though.
Yeah, that sounds correct. He didn't seem too happy the last time I met with him. We didn't really talk about his stake, but from his demeanor, he wasn't very happy. But he's a good friend of mine. We talk about stuff like this without worrying about it. So I'll get all the details and I'll let you guys know what exactly he did.
I mean, it's also his business too, right? Like we don't need to know it. We just like talking about it.
But for you, Martin, don't be discouraged, man. I heard you say that he's been in a lot longer than you have. Depending on wherever you started your entry point, if you still have the ability to purchase Hex, what better time than now? As we prepare to go into another bull cycle.
Yeah.
Right. I recently bought all my Hex, and I got over 300,000. My price point wasn't that high, but what I did with Hex was I didn't use cash. I figured that I would just take capital from other coins that I had, and I moved them into Hex. That's what I did. And actually, I'm not any worse off than I would have been at this point in time in terms of my dollar value. So I'm happy with what I did. And I do plan to, I have the potential to buy more Hex by deriving more capital from other coins to Hex. And that's something that I'm currently contemplating on doing and probably will do very soon.
Except for your taxable event that you incurred by moving capital from other coins rather than dry powder.
Yeah, but I'm not in the United States. You got to remember, I'm not a U.S. national, and the tax
Oh,
law
okay.
and the tax
All
laws
right.
were
Then
are completely different.
good luck to you then.
Mr. Jiggs, the hex chart says that a ton of volume is coming in, more so than ever has in the last 2 months. And we are at a bounce point, which should be triggered by the next green day. The next positive green candle should trigger a hex bounce up to possibly 100%. So if we're at 8, 7.5, we could bounce to 16. And again, I see that only as a bounce. I don't see a bottom until the overall crypto market cap goes under $900 billion. It's currently at, the overall total market cap for crypto is 1.217 trillion and heading lower. It's going to take, I don't know, 3 to 8 weeks to bottom out under $900 billion market cap. And that is where I see all crypto bottoming, including Hex.
John, I got a question. You seem pretty vetted. So when we zoom out and look at the macro and what's in the news, right? We have a lot of politicians. We have SEC commissioners saying they got crypto regulation wrong. We have JD from JP Morgan saying that he's super bullish on crypto, which usually is like a Kramer kind of do the opposite signal. Though I think this time we can see that they're interested in the adoption because they know that a lot of the helicopter money they gave us last year has moved into the space. So when we see these types of kind of double speak things, on the wire, how does that correlate to what the market's doing? And are they usually telling you one thing but kind of shorting it and flushing out to get a lower price? And do you see their buy orders like down there on a level where maybe that could be a potential target where they have been accumulating and want to accumulate more? Anything like that?
Exactly. The big boys who are above and beyond whales that want to adopt this will purposely drive shit down. They will purposely take losses, knowing that because if they sell, they're taking a loss, knowing that that will trigger panic, a capitulation down, and they have resting limit orders down there to buy all the people who are panicking and buy all their crypto up. So, yeah, they're doing that. But with that said, bloodbaths like we're currently having, those take 5 to 10 years to recover from. That's has happened in the stock market, and people can say, "Oh, crypto's had a bloodbath. They've gone 90% and then up 1,000%." No. This is a long-term bloodbath. We've been in a bloodbath for 6 months, coming up on a year or whatever, and that is going to take a long time to recover from. I'm speculating. I just don't think we are going to get a V bottom, and a V bottom would mean, okay, let's get the market cap down to say whatever in the 800 billions of overall crypto market cap, and then boom, in less than a year we shoot up to $3 trillion. We all-time high market. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because everything financially is in sync. There's bloodbaths in everything, stocks, everything. And that is going to take a long, long time to recover from. So the more solid stair-step growth products are going to be the ones that are, those are going to be the go-to things.
Are you watching the DXY? No, John.
I don't think, unless it's a new coin like PulseX, those days of 1,000x, 10,000x, that's over. We're never going to see that again unless it's a newer token. Pulse and PulseX could have that potential after their initial dilution. You get the hype, it pops up, and then they have a 90%.
Are you looking at the dollar index? John.
You want a technical analysis on the DXY?
Yeah, it looks like it's dumping to me, which is kind of bullish. Looks like it's about to fall through critical point right now.
Check, because the last time he broke its top.
So let me tell you guys my entry point when I just bought recently. All my HEX was between 11 and 13 cents. So I haven't taken a terrible hit. But again, and I derived other capital onto HEX that has dropped with HEX right now. So I'm in the same boat. And I considered that when I did this.
I mean, if anyone cares, I've been buying, I was buying at 20. Actually, I bought on before the pump, like a year ago, I was buying at 12. I was biting at like 4 cents, but it was around the time that also the NFTs were popping off. And I kind of thought that I would see a bigger gain there and then figure out how to roll it in over here, which happened. But I've been catching the knife since 20 and then 12 and then a little bit at 16, and I'm still buying. So, but I've also been interested in that, in the copy, and then also probably should have paid more attention to some of the game theory and doing more research into the liquidity pools and getting a better understanding of how that really works. Because that became my Achilles heel, to not really see what just happened, but still hella bullish and like interested in definitely accumulating more here. Maybe a little bit lower.
Yeah, I didn't foresee it dropping like this either. Again, I just learning about the liquidity situation here in this group. That's why, I really like it. And, but I'm holding on to it. I didn't sell anything. I'm just going to hold on to it and ride back up and probably derive some more capital into HEX as it continues to drop. That's probably my game plan. And then when, when Pulsechain launches, I'm going to start staking all that HEX. I'm going to HEX everything on the Pulsechain side. I haven't decided how yet. Maybe I'll ask the question here at some point in the near future, as to how to do that best for me, for my age. And that's where I'm at right now.
And the low liquidity sucks when you're feeling it to the downside, but man, I'll tell you, I haven't been here as long as the OGs. Only been kind of feeling it for the last year. But when you get that low liquidity to the upside, man, feels fucking good. So just keep holding, keep staking, and understand your risk tolerance really. And when I check the charts or whatever, and it was a down day, I keep remembering how amazing and technical and smart this community is, how smart Richard is, and I really trusting the product and the process, and when we have those days on Twitter too, where everyone's butting, the only thing they can really come up with is it's a scam, and then at the end of it, they're like, "Hey, Richard, can you get me in on your project?" Like it's obvious that people are paying attention. So when that turns from a headwind into a tailwind, and the stars align, like I think we're gonna make it, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't think we go any lower than 7.
We're already in the 7s, man. We can obviously go much lower.
Why is it obvious? Doesn't seem obvious to me.
Because constant sell pressure from stakes ending, and if people aren't buying, it's going to go lower.
Yeah, but you can see, like John just said, there's a big volume spike there. You can see people are buying right here.
Yeah, I saw kind of like a floor. I mean, who knows if it'll sustain, but just recently I saw a floor kind of like there seems to be some support at 7 cents. That's the impression I got. Who knows if that support will break apart, but
I think it depends what Ethereum does now, because I think isn't the liquidity with the Ethereum pair thicker than the USD pair now? I don't know.
It might be. I saw Richard commenting on that. Someone had posted the USD liquidity screenshot, and Richard said, "Why don't you post all of the pairs?" I think Ethereum is quite strong, or stronger.
Because Ethereum to me looks like the bottom's in for Ethereum, so that could pull HEX up with it,
I mean, it kind of did. They both kind of bounced together today.
Yeah, you got these big daily pin bars forming on all the majors. Looks like a bottom.
if you look at the 24-hour chart all the way to the 90-day chart, comparing Ethereum versus HEX, it's only in the 7-day chart where HEX outperform. I'm sorry, where Ethereum outperform HEX. In all those other categories, if you take a look, HEX clearly outperforms Ethereum between 24 hours ago and 90 days.
Hex ETH kind of looks just like it's at the bottom of a range. That's kind of good. So no dates are going to be announced for the Pulse launch. It's just going to be launched anytime now. Is that right? Or
I want to say 2 weeks.
yeah, I heard someone saying he's not going to announce it or something.
I think it's better. It's better that way, so people aren't necessarily anticipating it's going to come out and be like, "All right, guys, here's the date," and I think we'll get a harder bounce than if people are already prepared, packed in. I think this will give us a little bit more of a aggressive move to the upside, especially at these levels. Yeah, I think another reason that some of those like insane X's in those days are kind of behind us is like I think we're kind of putting like the USDT days behind us, and their gig is kind of up. And there's other players in town too, which are backed by BlackRock and Goldman Sachs, and even Celsius almost got liquidated back on May 10th, and a lot of that is propped up by USDT too. So they don't really come out with audits or show the stability of that. Like back in the day, they were just money printing and like really supporting BTC, and that was the reason that I didn't really get in 2017, but had a close eye on it, and based on what we saw with Terra and Luna, how the market reacted to it. I think also on like a larger macro scale, like people were really kind of coming to terms with the fact that we're in a pretty damn strong bear market. But that's my only other kind of, and whatever, call it a conspiracy or just kind of a zoomed out look at the macro and trying to understand their game theory in setting up their own stable coins or government backed currencies and things like that. I think figuring out how to get Tether out of the way. I don't know if the market could sidestep it, or if it would create more sell pressure on BTC. But I'm definitely keeping a close eye on everything that happens with USDT at this point as well.
Hey guys, I have to run out for a few minutes. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, I think the bear market's over.
Do you guys think that as blockchain technology advances, that there'll continue to be like compounding amounts of more chains, or do you see it kind of like what happened in Web 1 and Web 2, where you only had a couple real winning horses like Amazon and Google and Facebook and things like that? Like, well, if Ethereum beats out, Pulse beats out, is there really a need for more chains? I guess it becomes more difficult to compete, right?
Yeah, I mean, people will just keep building until there's no money in it, you know? But right now, I think there's plenty of room for more competition.
I can see where companies will make their own private blockchains, right? Like medicine or in logistics and things like that. But I guess as far as like financial vehicles, like, would these institutions make their, I guess they can make their own kind of in the bank, or do they just work with the existing institutions and just kind of pull them into the umbrella of the financial system? I mean, I guess they already kind of have.
I mean, if everything becomes tokenized, you don't really need, most companies don't need a chain, they just need a token. So I see chains as just like cities, and tokens are like shops on the high street.
Yeah, I like visualizing too this idea of like when the blockchain is kind of the underlying network and technology, and the users on top of it, you know, are doing whatever they're doing, and they're not even noticing, like, you know, when people use Cash App or Venmo or Amazon, they don't care about what the payment network is. They just know that their money's moving. You know, when they go and buy something at the store, they're paying in crypto or whatever, even if the vendor wants crypto, maybe it's converting in the back end. And the user at the POS, it's just not even noticeable. I think at that point, that's where we can really start to get the crossing the chasm from early, innovators, early adopters to mass market. But we needed that demand, and we're definitely seeing the demand. Definitely on the luxury market side, they're all well aware, and they understand that a lot of the disposable income in this country has moved into the crypto world, and people are willing to. I mean, some people are willing to buy things at inflated prices because it's an Ethereum. We saw it in the NFT space. Like people were buying Adidas hoodie jumpsuits for $6,000 and speculating on the value of the NFT for future utility, but it's not really proven to do anything, So they're over here for sure. And it's actually kind of interesting as well that Richard plays into the watches and stuff, because I do see where that crosses over into individuals that just have disposable income, and the fact that the luxury markets are coming in first. It's kind of an interesting sort of higher level of consumer marketing behavior. The other thing too is like we want those individuals that have that higher level of disposable income, which is obviously more of whatever the 1%. Versus, when I talk to other friends and they're like, all right, I'm ready to get into crypto, and what should I do? And I spend all this time with them. They're like, yeah, I have some Ethereum. I'm like, oh, cool. How much do you have? They're like $600. I'm like, okay, like that's a couple gas fees. It's hard. It's like you need to have capital either to come in with, or like have a way to generate it on the network. So, hopefully, and that's the other reason for Pulsechain too. It's like those smaller numbers will add up, but you need to have volume, and if you don't have that volume, then it's going to be hard to really get that exponential growth.
And just from speculation alone, having a brand new L1 is going to bring in a lot of volume. I mean, this entire industry is a bunch of bullshit. So it's just nothing but speculation. People will come and speculate, and then they'll realize Pulse is actually a great blockchain. There's no question about it. No question.
Yeah, sure.
Hex is the next Bitcoin, but even better. Hey guys, I respect everybody's insight in here, and I have a question that I know for a fact that I'm not going to find on the internet because I've looked everywhere, and I just want to understand if I'm thinking correctly, per se.
Just managed to ask a question without asking a question. So what's the question?
I fully understand that if a bad person has a hold of liquidated assets, they're able to transfer into fiat currency and get the exchange, bye, over, done with, no trace. But I have yet to find an exchange that can print out an NFT and a domain. Yeah.
I didn't understand the question.
Ask a question, Crypto.
Well,
Frame your
essentially, my NFT and my domains are still. Hold on.
Go Crypto, go into Discord and go talk to the people at ENS. You have to point your questions at the right people. Like, there are other help chats that can help you. This isn't the one.
No, I don't need anybody's help. I just kind of want to gather some insight because y'all have a better understanding of how shit works than I do. But essentially, what I'm saying is my NFT and my domain is still on the blockchain, and nobody can take that out of the blockchain. So when I obtain the public address that has my NFTs and potentially my domains, I haven't verified if my domains are out of my account, but potentially whoever holds it into their wallet, it is invalid per se.
I mean, do you have your NFT when you go on OpenSea? Is it in your wallet? When you go on Etherscan, is your ENS domain in your wallet?
The only thing that I have on hold on. The only thing that I have on OpenSea at the moment is two NFTs that I minted and sold. Therefore, I'm like in a binding contract with them, and I guess they took like control over if somebody wants to buy my NFT, then that's how I get the funds. So what I'm essentially saying is there's no way for my NFT to get off Ethereum, to get off any chain. It will forever be on the blockchain, and there's no way for somebody to take that out. And like, yeah, I lost control right now, but the day that I find that wallet that has my stuff and I get it back to mine, yeah, that'll be the day I tell y'all that I was right today. But I just want to see if I'm on the right track of thinking.
Crypto, I'm sorry, dude. You just really have like a very beginner understanding of how the blockchain works and how NFTs work. You know, so like you really got to go back and do a few thousand hours. You know, it sounds like you've maybe done 50 hours of research. So, you know, there are NFT communities. You can go and talk to OpenSea. There, you know, you go into Discord and go and ask the ENS people about, okay, like, and also like, it doesn't make sense. Like what happened? Someone got your seed phrases. Like, you still have your seed phrases at wallet. Did they, when you click the link, did they drain your whole entire account of all your NFTs? They just had a transfer function in there. They transferred everything out, correct?
Yeah, I'm speculating that it's an omnibus wallet where there was multiple people able to access this. Essentially like a broker's wallet, but in the crypto space.
Dude, I mean, listen, I'm getting so frustrated with you because I just really don't want to talk about this. But when you do you know how to look and see all of your NFT when you said domains, you bought an ENS domain?
Fuck no. I bought a .nft domain. I bought a .888 domain, and I believe since the .x was more expensive than the others, I believe I bought a .dao domain.
Okay, so then go and talk with what are they? United Domains or whatever? Go and ask those people where those things are. If they rinsed you and those NFTs left your wallet, then you're not getting those back. If they left those in there because they're not worth anything, then maybe you can go transfer those to a different wallet. Those are your options. So we're going to end this conversation. And even if it goes silent in here, I appreciate if you don't bring this stuff back up because we We've exhausted it, dude.
Okay, I get you, and I apologize, and I won't ever speak about it again. But when the day comes that I'm right about the day, can I openly be excited and
Yeah,
tell
sure.
you how I
Are
did it?
you on? I gotta ask you, man. Are you on drugs?
No, I'm high on crypto, buddy.
Okay.
Are you on drugs?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But thank you, man. I appreciate everything. I'm gonna be in this chat till the day this chat dies, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think there's a lot of interesting guys that I grasp, a lot of informational stuff, man. And just one time for the 4,500 people online right now, do we share our seed phrases with anybody? No, we do not.
Great. Thanks, man.
Anybody here ever go from ledger to Trezor and then you just stop looking back? I saw it in a post somewhere. Once you do that, there's no going back.
Yeah, I did that, but I've actually started liking the ledger a bit more again.
And why do you exactly wouldn't you go back, basically? Would be nice to know.
Crypto Safe, your mic's too low.
Thank you for letting me know. I said, no, it should be better, right?
Well, apparently, a lot of folks say the user experience on the Trezor is really nice. I have Ledger personally. Small bit of a learning curve, but doing fine with it. But it's almost like when I bought my Chevy Volt back in the day. I thought I was doing good, but then I see everyone around with their Teslas, and I said, "Damn it!"
It's a great
Yeah,
analogy.
the ledger software has actually got better. It used to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I've been using that ledgers, and I love my ledgers.
Same, and they're about to drop a Chrome extension, and I think they have some new things coming out. And then they're also adding NFT support. So I like my ledger as well, but would be interested to know if you do get a Trezor.
I don't think that it will. I mean, like for me, having watched the video done by Papa B, the videos done by Papa B, and then just kind of looking at what was out there, I said, I think I went with the backup pack. You get the was it the S and the X, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But one that can hold multiple wallets and apps, and the other one I haven't set up yet, but I've done my migration.
Yeah, I just I got that pack too. So I've now tried the X and the S. The S just being a little bit smaller, but I like the X for sure.
Yeah.
I got the S, and then I got the S pluses. I got 4 of them, but yeah, the S Plus I like a lot because you have more room on it, more storage basically.
Yeah, there have been times where I've gone to do a transaction and then I forget to look down and click on the signing on my ledger. It's like, oh, that's why it took so long.
But why would you choose the Treasure wallet over the Ledger Nano, taking in consideration that the Nano X basically costs half the price, source code private and audited, has Bluetooth connection, while the Treasure Model T, 2 times the price, doesn't have that feature. Software user interface more polished, and it also supports more coins and NFT. So why would you choose the other one? Why would you pay 2 times the price for having a less, basically less good hardware wallet?
The Ledger S Plus does everything that the Treasure does, I believe, and it's not that much. It's about the same price, I believe.
No, absolutely not. No, half.
Did the S Plus just recently come out?
Yes.
No, there was the S, and then the X, the Nano X, and then the S Plus. But if you compare, you should compare like the highest, basically the most expensive model on Treasure and the most expensive model on Ledger. And the most expensive one is the Nano X, and is half the price and has all the basically advantages that I just enumerated.
The Nano S Plus is better than the Nano X, in my humble opinion.
No,
It
never.
has storage.
It has less memory and no Bluetooth connection. And other than that, they are exactly the same. So if you have like Bluetooth connection and even a battery, it has even its own battery, so no need to use a cable. And on top of that, more memory. And if the rest is absolutely similar, then obviously anyone would tell you that the Nano X, the last one, is way better. And there is a reason why they basically classify with the most expensive one and the less expensive one, etc. It's the reason is simple because I mean the most expensive device has better features. You know.
Well, as Papa would tell you, and if he heard you say that, he would bust a blood vessel in his eyes, that you should not be using Bluetooth on your hardware wallet. And so therefore the Nano S Plus, being that it doesn't have the battery and doesn't have the Bluetooth, but has the storage of the X, that the Plus is better than the X. I don't
It doesn't.
use
It doesn't have the.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, but it does. First of all, why you guys shouldn't use the Bluetooth feeder? That's my first question. Technically speaking, and accurately speaking. Second argument is like, no, it doesn't have the same memory space. It has less. Greater memory space than the bigger memory space than the Nano S, of course, because it's an old device, but less memory than the Nano X, actually. And on top of that, it's a feature. So you don't need to use it mandatorily. You can choose to use it. But I would be really interested to know why it create basically a security fail. You know.
That's probably the biggest thing. Safe trade is just from a security perspective, having Bluetooth enabled on there, even if it's inadvertently increases your attack surface, is probably what the thoughts or sentiments are. Whereas if you don't have a Bluetooth chip, you don't have to worry about that.
It's
And
basically
also the battery, it's a lithium battery and it's probably going to go dead in about a year and a half. And just like most batteries do, it's going to go bad and you'll have to get another one and spend all that extra money on it. But yes,
because
your attack
you can still use the
vector
cable.
with the Wi-Fi is the problem.
You can
And the
still
Nano
use
S Plus, the Nano S Plus and the Nano X have the same amount of apps.
no. No, S Plus and X, no. Not the same amount of app. You can check it out. Go on the ledger.com.
I did. I'm
And
on their webpage right now.
Does the Ledger Nano have a battery in it or no?
X has the battery.
Just the
Just the X has a battery. The Nano Plus has a memory with no battery. And that the more apps, like the Nano S, that only could support up to 3 apps, basically. The Nano Plus, I think it's either 5 or 7 apps.
Yeah, it seems to be the best one, doesn't it?
According to Ledger, the Nano S Plus holds up to 100 apps.
Okay. I like I said, it's been a while since I read it. I just know that the Nano X, because of the Wi-Fi and the battery, Papa does not recommend that one at all.
Correct. Yeah, the Nano S.
If
the
the
Nano S Plus.
communication is encrypted, there is no problem, guys.
Now I feel like I threw a grenade in this room. Sorry, guys.
It's a matter of preference. It's all good.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd still rather buy 2 Nano S Pluses than 1 Nano X.
For real? I gotta go look at this then. Is it smaller though, still? Like finger wise? Lengthwise?
It's about the same size as the Nano X.
The S, I'm sorry, what is it? The S Plus? What is it?
The S Plus is about the same size as the Nano X, and it's bigger than the Nano S.
Okay,
Almost, I have both. It's almost the same. It's just the buttons that are like different and a little bit bigger, but the three are the same. And for the memory, like as I said, like the S Plus comes with 1.5 megabytes. So that's what I explained before. And the other one has 1.8 megabytes. So the Nano X, as I said, has more memory. Just checked it.
It's basically the same.
Either way, I love my ledgers. Doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
Conclusion, both will secure you. It's just about then, yeah, price and preference in terms of maybe user interface or who can help you and give you support and so on in the end. The most important is to be secured.
Hey guys, I'm kind of new to Telegram and I'm having a difficult time trying to search for another voice chat over Telegram to, yeah, I don't know how I even got this voice chat.
Didn't hear your question, man, or I didn't understand. If you can reformulate it or re-ask
Yeah,
please.
are you trying to answer? Did you hear me correctly?
I can hear you, no?
Okay, I'm taking Captain Mango's advice and trying to search for other group chats, and I don't want to type in anything on my keyboard or on my phone, and I'd rather just talk. So I'm trying to find on Telegram other groups that are correlated to what I'm searching for, the ENS that he said. I'm trying to find the voice chats in Telegram, and it's only giving me like Pulsechain stuff that people written down. Or
You're just gonna continue to get wrecked left and right. Like you have to go to actual websites, right? And go to verifiable Twitter accounts and get the links from there. If you were to get into this Pulse chat, the way you would do it is you would first go to pulsechain.com and go to the official link, right? You need to go follow official links. So no one else really uses Telegram. If you want any NFT stuff, go to Discord, go to their official website, and then log in through there. They're not here. You're not going to find them in the search bar. And if you're too scared to type things into your search bar and click links, then this space really isn't for you, dude. Honestly.
no, that's not what I was saying. I'm not scared to do it in the search bar. I don't want to click on something. I don't want to click on something in here that y'all have been deeming me from day one that there's a lot of spammers in here that are, posting links and crap. Like I just got TAM spammed the other day, so I'm very cautious. Yes, but I'm not too afraid.
You should just delete Telegram altogether. Honestly, delete Telegram and go over to Discord and join those communities there and ask your questions there.
Hey, bro, I appreciate your advice, man, and I'm gonna wait for you to be in the group chat, and I'm gonna tell you that I have my NFTs that I originally bought back into my wallet. I'm gonna let you know when that day comes. Okay.
I'll hold my breath.
He was basically telling you go to Twitter and then go find the Discord for the NFT route and join up through there, and then they could probably help you or not. But that's all he's really saying. But I mean, don't take it personally.
Yeah, I'm not taking it personal, man. I gotta respect my place in this realm, and he's a veteran, and
You're making it. You're making it personal by coming in here and dragging us through it. It's been like 3 days, 4 days of this. That's why I'm agitated with you, and that's why I'm finally speaking to you like this.
Sorry, I got a phone call. What'd you say, Captain? Or
I said you're making it personal by bringing in your your trash, right? Like I understand you're learning, but people aren't just going to give you these step-by-step things for when you actually don't even understand the majority of how
that's where I know you don't fully understand what I am saying. These huge IOs that create metaverses, billion-dollar metaverses, have transactions ID to me. And the second I tell them that my wallet was compromised, they will do what they need to do in their realm. And I'm telling you, because there's no way that NFT is leaving the blockchain ever. Essentially, I'm
honestly, nobody cares about your NFTs, bro. Nobody cares about your NFTs.
They will when I say, hey, if you have this NFT, if you want your currency,
nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So to Discord and or Twitter and go get to the places people can help you, crypto. That's all he's saying. If you believe they can help you, that's where you need to go.
I love you, Redneck. Thank you. I'll see y'all guys later. I'll probably be on later tonight. See if there's any interesting topics. Have a good day. Thank you, Captain.
Redneck. I heard that voiceover that or that promotional Hex audio clip I heard from you the other day. Man, that shit was gold, dude. I got such a good laugh out of that. Have you ever done voiceover work? I ain't trying to dox you, but man, you're missing your calling if you haven't.
Actually, Life is Good is on this chat. He knows some people. He's trying to get me a gig doing it. No, I've never done voiceover work. By the way, Captain, I didn't mean to step on your toes if I was.
No, man,
Was
fine.
it?
Good cop, bad cop, because I just don't have the patience. So, I'm happy to sit here and walk new people through things, but when you just talk aimlessly about just being a complete noob, it's like, dude, come on, man, like go put in the work. It's terrible.
Oh, I know. Did you just imagine what Papa Boner has to go through every day?
Honestly, like the way he was talking reminds me of my friend that was coming off of opiate addiction, and he was on fentanyl, not fentanyl, whatever the drug is they give him to come kind of off it, and they just talk like that from this like tunnel vision sort of thing. Like he doesn't even ask questions. Like he just like it's so bizarre. Anyway, so I had this creative idea, trying to like think of, because I do like NFTs and I see the utility. And I'm just kind of speculating on how they get used on Pulsechain, but a lot of it is tribalism and communities and things like that. And we have the Hexicans, but I was thinking about doing something along the lines of like the Heartbreakers, or like something a little bit more like fun and rock and roll. So it's something that I've kind of been drawing up and pontificating on. And also like getting like the crypto, like on crypto Twitter and NFT Twitter, we have a lot of what we call like the crypto baddies, like hot girls and things like that. And they're all pretty funny. Like there's a lot of shit posting. Like they're pretty engaging. So like I'd love to continue to kind of riff off of even what Richard does with, Playboy models or girls or whatever, and then kind of like marry that with like the Hexicans. Like we could start to build out like other little tribes and communities, and like leverage off one another. I think it'd be pretty fun to do.
Yeah, all Walrus does a lot of that, reaching out to other communities and bringing along things and stuff of that nature. As he's got a gift for it for sure.
Yeah, I've been talking to Walrus a little bit.
We'll say this though, he will probably go ahead and get himself wrecked again.
He was like searching for Telegram rooms. He does that. He'll probably get wrecked on Discord too. I mean, that's where I got wrecked. Like they're out there, bro, and very good at what they do.
Sometimes tenacity is not the best virtue in a person, I guess. Any moderators in the room? There's Y Gamma. There's people with their hand up.
I heard that guy rattling on earlier about how we only have proof of work and proof of stake and all that. But I'm just curious. I have heard people refer to hex as proof of weight, right? But is that just a facetious comment, or are they just doing a play on words there, like it's a joke, or are there people that look at hex as though it's a proof of weight system? I'm just curious, so I don't misuse that whenever I'm talking with people.
Yeah, when he says proof of waste, that's basically the mining and the energy that they're talking about.
No, proof of weight, WAIT. Hex, time delayed gratification, proof of weight.
Yeah, when you stake, it gets locked up, and you basically can't touch it. So you're waiting. Yes.
But I don't think there's a concept as proof of weight. I think they were probably saying that as a joke because of the way it works.
Yes. Jig, how are you doing this morning? Afternoon, I should say.
I'm doing well. Listening to all the craziness. Other than that, everything is good. Just waiting like everybody else, trying to buy some more. And that's it. And you? You're working full time here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually off day, so I'm just kind of enjoying sitting around the house.
You seem to be off every day. You're always on, I guess, even when you work.
Yeah. If I'm not fishing or hunting, I guess I'm stuck with you guys, or y'all are stuck with me.
Well, you're good to be stuck with. Gonna have you do my advertisement for me. I have to get it recorded. I bought a little recorder. I have to learn how to use it. Once I do, I'm going to have you give me a good one. A good voiceover like.
But advertisement for your business?
For HEX.
Hey, JK.
Okay, no problem. You write it up, I'll record it on my phone and send it to you.
No, the one you did with Ziggy, that's fabulous.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to do a new one for you.
I was gonna say, JK. There's an article that might answer your question. Earlier, as far as what they call hex, because I think Richard has also referred to hex as kind of like a hybrid proof of work and proof of stake system. And there's an article, like if you Google hex.com hybrid proof of work, there's a medium.com article that kind of explains it. It's an article that was written March 21st of 2020, and they kind of go into, like why they consider it a hybrid proof of work.
I'll check that out. Cool. You guys saw Ray Liotta just died? Goodfellas.
Shit, no. Damn. Natural causes?
Hey, Hexkin, your voice thing is way low. And no, I didn't say he passed away. That sucks.
Thanks, Ferdinand.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I can barely hear you, bud.
Yeah, I can hardly hear him.
Damn, man. Ray was one of my favorites, man. That kind of sucks.
There you go. Yeah, I don't. Was he sick or?
And he wasn't that old either, only 67 years old.
That sucks.
Said he went to sleep while he was filming a movie down in Colombia or some shit, Puerto Rico or something.
Damn, that sucks. For real, man. That's a sad day, man. Today's a sad day if that's true, man.
Who are you
Rest in
talking
peace.
about?
Rest in peace, man.
Who are you talking about, guys?
Ray Liotta, the American actor from Goodfellas, Field of Dreams. I mean, take a pick.
I don't know him.
He's right up there with Robert De Niro and all them guys, and Christopher Walken. I mean, he's classic legend, at least in American Hollywood would be concerned.
You never watched the movie Goodfellas?
I might have, but I don't recall by the name.
It's a American mafia classic. You gotta, yeah, you have to watch it, and you would know Ray as soon as you saw him. He's in memes. I mean, he's everywhere. Yeah, he's very famous. You would know the face even if you don't know the name.
You might be
He's
right.
done some TV shows also, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was in a cop show with Jennifer Lopez for a little while at NBC. Yeah, he's been everywhere, like you guys said, man. Legend. But it just goes to show you how big the world is, right? Because Adrian is he's a well educated representative here, and he doesn't know who Ray Liotta is, right? And then there's another famous um crypto guy. I forgot he was. He's one of the big YouTubers, the big furus. He didn't know who Manny Pacquiao was, the famous boxer. So like he had no idea who Manny Pacquiao was, and I was like, wow, it's like it's amazing that I guess it's a big world, man. Not everybody is as known as you think. Sometimes you live in your own little bubble and you think that everybody knows what you know, and just goes to show, that just the world is vast, man. There's people out there that just don't know what you know, and you don't know what you think you know, and you know, do you know?
There's a very famous meme of Ray Liotta just laughing. It's a little cutscene from Goodfellas. I just posted in the main chat. So, Adrian, you should have seen this around somewhere, I would imagine, even if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, that's the famous meme, right?
Yes, looks familiar.